I'm Bill Cirone, Santa Barbara County Superintendent of Schools, and I'm pleased to host Cox 8 special series on local leaders. I'm delighted to introduce my guest today, John Daly, President of the Key Class. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Bill, very much.
John, we want to talk about all of your amazing accomplishments, both in business and in the community. But before we do, I'd like to start by tracing the path that you've taken, because in so many ways it's interconnected and the dots seem to connect.
Yes.
So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Now, you grew up in Southern California,
Yes.
Graduated from Cleveland High School in Reseda, and then period. That's it. That was the end of your formal education.
That's right.
And I know you've said that you're very proud of not having a high school diploma. Can you explain?
No, I have a high school diploma.
I'm sorry, of ending your education career with a high school diploma.
Exactly. I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to accomplish the things that I have been able to accomplish with the high school diploma. And only the high school diploma. I have had the great pleasure of running several businesses, and I just think it's a testament to hard work and hard knocks.
So after high school, you started working in a flower shop, also buying and flipping homes. Then tell us about the evolution, how one goes from being a part-time flower shop worker to the president of John Daly International, the internationally acclaimed event planning agency. How did you first get involved with corporate America?
Well, I was a delivery boy, like you say, in a flower shop, and actually I was in my first semester of college, and I had a deal with my parents that if they would pay for my college as long as I lived at home. And they had some rules at the house that, of course, being 18 years old, I didn't think I needed to listen to a 12 o'clock curfew. And so I was invited to either follow the curfew or to leave. And I chose to leave, which meant I couldn't continue getting help with my education. So I decided that I would take a year off of school. And what I did was I said, well, save my money and I'll go back to school. And that was it. I started working full-time, and someone in the shop decided that they thought I might have some talent for designing. And a very great designer by the name of Bates Hines happened to work at that shop. And he mentored me and taught me how to design flowers and so on and so forth. He came in 2 hours every morning, early, and stayed late every night and helped me. And I started designing and going to work soon for what was at that time called a freelance designer. And I worked for many different flower shops that were called, during those days, party shops. And they did a lot of big parties and weddings. And I worked with them on the weekends. Usually I would only have to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or perhaps Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so I made top dollar for doing that kind of work. And consequently, I was able to buy homes and work on the homes during the rest of the week and flip the houses, and there you have it.
So eventually you planned events worldwide. Tell us about some of the more interesting international events that you've planned.
Well, I went into, back up just a tiny bit,
Sure.
I went into business as just an event planner, and I started in this little tiny 400 square foot space just doing events. And it just exploded. I was in the right time, at the right time in the right place. And I started doing a lot of charity events and so on and so forth, and weddings, society weddings and so on. And I liked it. However, my temperament didn't allow me to work really well with the emotional side of the business. And so I decided to go with corporate America. And going with corporate America changes the whole dynamics. It's like two different businesses. Corporate America is, the pressure comes on getting the job, bidding for the job. Once that's done, they leave you alone and they expect you to do a perfect job. And if you do a perfect job, they'll have you back again. And that has kind of snowballed over the years into doing the different corporate things that I've done. Then once I got into the corporate side of the business, I was lucky enough to travel with companies wherever they went in the world. And one of the most exciting things I've ever done was World Cup for World Cup soccer or football. And the one that I did it several years in a row or several successions, but the best was without a doubt in France. And I spent a lot of time in Paris getting ready for it.
And you also did events for several U.S. presidents and the Pope.
Yes, that's true.
Which ones?
That's very true. I worked actually with President Ford and both the President Bushes and President Reagan. And it was Pope Paul II, and it was when he came and made his North American tour. And when he was in Los Angeles, I did both of his altars at the Coliseum and at Dodger Stadium.
Quite an experience.
It was probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life.
But so, you know, there were so many event planning agencies in existence. Why do you think that yours was able to attain such a broad success?
I think, Bill, it was because I really acted in a corporate manner. I presented myself as a corporate person as opposed to presenting myself as a designer. And I made it easy for corporate America to speak with me. When I would meet with corporate America, I met with them in a suit and tie. And I spoke their language. And I did things in a corporate manner as well. My proposals were very succinct, still are, very succinct and priced out and so on and so forth. And I worked just in a very corporate manner, however, using a lot of flair along with it.
You know, etiquette and traditions have also been fascinations of yours from a very early age. Explain to us how that helped with your international event planning.
Well, I've had a I just love etiquette and traditions and so on and so forth from all over the world. And I've studied it since I was 19, just for kicks. I wanted to know why certain things were done, why you shake hands, why you do different things. And consequently, I learned a lot of the different cultures, the traditions and cultures in different places. And I was able to tell my American corporate people what they needed to do in whatever place we were going. How do you act in South Africa? And I could tell someone that because I had studied that.
And at the height of John Daly International, I understand that you were away from home 2 to 3 weeks a month.
Yes, I was.
That was for about 25-year period.
25 years,
I
right.
can only imagine what that was like. Did that prompt your decision to pull back?
It did, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you, I was home at the beginning of this recession. I was home for about 3 months. And my wife and I are having dinner one night, and I said, you know, I can't believe this. This is wonderful. And she said, just being home. And I said, you know, Marty, I don't think I want to go back. And she said, I don't want you to go back. And I said, well, then we have to change our life a little bit, but I think the payoff will be well worth it. And that's consequently what we've done. I'm still doing events, Bill, but I'm not doing, I'm kind of picking and choosing the ones that I find really, really interesting.
It's a nice way to do it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So how did you become involved with the Amnesty Ball, which is, for our viewers' sake, in effect, what's considered to be one of the major social events to support a nonprofit locally?
Well, the Amethyst Ball is very connected with the Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, and I became a member of their board probably about 10 years ago. And they were doing the ball, and actually I said that I would be happy to help with the ball. And one thing led to another, and I've done many of them since, and really, really enjoy the work.
And you're doing a lot of volunteer work in the community. It's broad. There's the council, as you just mentioned, Teen Court, now fighting back. What drew you to Partners in Ed, the most recent involvement? And what, beyond that, What's the motivation for you to get so involved in the community?
Bill, I love kids. My wife and I have 5 children. We have 5 grandchildren. And I just love being around, believe it or not, I love being around teenagers. And I love the learning curve with teenagers. To me is almost as exciting as it is when you have a little 2 or 3-year-old, and it's all these questions, but they don't ask the questions. They act out, and you have to guess what the question is and answer it. And I just find it so rewarding to work with them.
So with that, you've gotten into mentoring, and you've mentored many young people through the years. You're currently mentoring 4 young people, as I understand it.
That is correct.
Tell us about that experience. What is mentoring like for you?
I started mentoring around 15 years ago, and it's probably been very close to one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I love to be able to know that I have made a difference. And I think that difference can be something as simple as just being there for someone and listening to someone. And most of the kids that I have mentored haven't had that person there. And to be that person is a pretty exciting thing.
And you've said you have one strict rule. What is that?
Never lie. I go off the deep end when someone tells a lie to me. I will help anyone, anytime, as long as they're telling me the truth, and I know what to fight for them.
The Key class, how did it first take shape?
Well, with all the mentoring, I was having dinner with some of these boys, and I was noticing that the table manners were just absolutely atrocious. And I was thinking about it, and I said, you know, I think that they need to kind of learn these things. They're about at the age they're going to go out and start looking for a job and so on and so forth. And I realized that a lot of the guys didn't know how to shake hands even, or look someone in the eye, or carry on a conversation. And so because of the fact that I've semi-retired, I had some time to put this curriculum together for the Key class, which is a series of 4 classes. And I just put it all together, and one thing led to another, and
it just evolved. So,
it evolved.
Yeah, so with that, there are, as you pointed out, 4 classes to the series. The first one, I love the subtitle. Tell us about that class.
Yeah, how to shake the hand that will feed you.
Elaborate.
It's all about how to shake hands, how to look someone in the eyes, how to talk to them, and if you have trouble looking in the eyes, what do you do there? Where do you look? You look between here, cheek to cheek, and also how to use your cell phone, what kind of a message you should leave, or your voicemail, incoming message. What do you do as far as Facebook is concerned? How do you ask questions that require someone to give you an answer? No yes or no questions. Always ask something that will have something dangling. And listen. Listen, it's so important. And repeat it back. People like, more than anything, I'm sure you're really aware, Bill, nothing better than to talk about themselves. And so if you push them to ask questions of people they get to talk about themselves, they come away from the interview or a conversation with everyone thinking, gosh, now that's a smart kid.
And how about the second class, which involves what to wear?
That one is, well, now what do I wear? And we do that, we partner with the Gap, actually, here in Santa Barbara. And we do it at the Gap, we do it in the storeroom. And we go through the whole different things that everybody should be wearing when they go on an interview. And then we tell them, okay, now make up in your mind where you're going to go apply for a job. Go out into the store and pick out an outfit and put the outfit on.